This Corecon video segment is going to explore the first of three options when you're creating a new prime invoice for a cost plus or cost plus with GMP contract type. There's a couple things to remember before you begin. If you go to your projects, contract admin, I've selected a project with a cost plus contract. That cost plus contract is marked approved and has an approved status date. If I open the contract and the detail, noting the contract type, I'm going to go down to the project information linked to prime contract options and first select the view default markups for change proposals and change orders. I've already set these up. They're based on a percentage. There are two and they have a cost code assigned. The same is true for the default markups on the cost plus prime invoice. So this part is for change orders. This part is for the prime contract prime invoice, and they can be different at times. Just to open that up and show you that we've also established a set of default cost plus prime invoice markups. In this case, we're also using a cost plus with GMP, but the process to create a new prime invoice is the same for both a cost plus with GMP and a cost plus without GMP contract type. Next, we want to go back to contract admin and down to the prime invoices. Before we begin, we're going to click on the reports menu and point out that there is a log style report specific to this prime invoice transaction type. This report will show you transactions that have been unbilled and also by transaction type, in this case bill, miscellaneous expenses, and so on, and details are provided. Next, let's go to prime invoices and go to actions, and we're going to add a new prime invoice manually. Most of the information has been filled in for us, but we're going to backdate this to the 23rd of the prior month, and the due date is calculating automatically because of the terms that have been set, and we're also going to mark this approved, although there may be times where you want to leave that unapproved until your project owner, client, or customer gives you the final approval on the amounts you requested. Then we'll click Save and Next, and we're going to use option A. There are three more videos following this one on the other three methods. Option A, we're going to import actual expenses and time cards with markup option for transaction type, and we'll click Next. Now the information being imported is all the information through the 23rd, and we can select by the transaction type, in this case all costs, what we want to import. There is a place to add another markup here, but because I've already created default markups, I won't bother to add to those here. We can also see the totals. We can also opt to tag related linked files, and Corecon does recommend that you do this. And then we'll click Add and Next. Next, it's asking if we want to include the default invoice markups, which we do, and if needed, an option to use the default AR tax codes, and click Save and Next. The invoice has been created. If we want to see the details of what we've created so far, we go to the Invoice Details and the View Invoice Details. We can choose to remove items from the invoice we've created. Since I wanted to bill through a specific date, I'm going to include all items. These items would include only those marked as billable and also marked as approved. I can import additional items. I can also make changes. Back to the prime invoice info. We also have an option to change retainage. Next, we'll go up to the reports and the prime invoice details. There are quite a few different prime invoice formats you can choose from. I'm going to show you two. We're going to see the items grouped by transaction type first, We'll print that to PDF. Your logo will appear here. There's a summary of the invoice, and then the transaction types followed by those transactions that apply. There's a group for bills, labor time cards, equipment time cards, miscellaneous expenses, and other. The other includes the overhead, profit, and fee that we added as defaults. You can also print this as an AIA style invoice. These are summarized by cost code. In each case, you can also email the document directly from the same select template. And back at the Prime Invoice information page, we can go to reports and note that you can also print out a lien waiver. If you'd like to know more about the information included in this training video, we encourage you to go to the help articles, down to leads and projects, down to contract admin, down to prime contract invoice, and then to cost plus prime contracts, and the 3 different options plus the retainage option is explained in these articles